when I first got my citizenship, and I was a young man, and I reached the age of voting, I was very excited. I was very excited about being an American. I was very excited about practicing democracy. And I went and I researched what parties there are for me that I can join, because it's something that where I was born and grew up, I had no option of. There was no option for me to participate in politics. There was no option for anyone to voice their opinion in politics. There was no elections whatsoever. The country was a monarchy, and there is no elections whatsoever in any level, from high school to government. Everything is by appointment, and basically a family ruled the country. And not only that, we didn't even have the right for assembly. If I want to gather my friends to speak to them or organize, we are not allowed to do that without a specific permit from a specific ministry. So I was very excited about being an American. I loved being an American. I loved the American Revolution, the Constitution, the founding documents, the history of the country, how it was founded, the challenges, the atrocities that took place, and the always effort to self-correct. So I found the Green Party, voting Green Party, because it matched my values, it matched my ethics, it matched my priorities, it matched my, the things that I really care about. So unfortunately, it had not much movement in the country, except maybe when Ralph Nader, ran. It gained a little bit of traction. But this has been my stance, my personal conviction, and I wasn't involved really in politics. I'm more involved in the cultural scene, in the educational scene. I am active more for human rights, and I wasn't really active politically. After October of 2023 and the genocide that started to take place in the Middle East, I didn't really imagine that we are going to get to this point in history, where a genocide is taking place in front of our eyes. We're watching it day by day, tear by tear, cry by cry, child by child. It was devastating. It was traumatizing. The silence of the government for this atrocity, and then the complete backing up and funding and supporting this genocide basically made me totally believe that our democracy is kind of hijacked. Yes. This duopoly to brew by itself under the conditions of corporate money and lobbying and political pressures from super PACs and all these lobbies, that it has gotten to a point where it's no longer representing the will of the people. It was shocking to me when a survey of American people, you get 62%, 63% wanting a ceasefire, and then a vote in the Senate would have 100 senators opposing to ceasefire. How can you have 0% in the Senate with ceasefire and 63% in the streets? There must be something broken in the system. And now the silence over this duopoly. People, whenever they're living under conditions that cause atrocities, they're usually so much conditioned that they don't see it the way it is. And then later in history, retrospectively, they start seeing the tremendous, wrong that they were living under. So I think that this fascism that we are living under, that is discussed with the shape of two parties, because they are aligned in terms of the agenda on 95% of the matters, and they are both sponsored by AIPAC, and they are both sponsored by the big corporate donors and the military industry. So how can you have representation of the people when two parties are totally aligned? So it's just like two versions to give an illusion of democracy. This is what I started to believe in, and then I had the urgency of working with the Green Party to really break the duopoly finally, because now, we are paying for it heavily. We have always been paying for it, but now we're paying for it heavily, and it can reach to our own families and to our own children, because you know what, if the world is silent about a genocide that's taking place anywhere in the world, then they can be silent about a genocide that's taking place here. So, and genocide can take different shapes. It doesn't have to be, it can be a forceful removal of people. It can be different shapes and forms. So I decided to, as an ethical obligation to introduce people to the Green Party.